Yo, what's good, guys? It's Royalty, back for another video. It's been a while since I've said that, and it's been in different games. I've been hopping around. Yu-Gi-Oh is something that I've played for a long time. Like almost half my life, I've played Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest. Cause I started playing this shit when I was like a kid, and like I'm 22 now, so that's just a little bit of backstory on me, where this profile is coming from. So right now I'm actually Plat 5. I just demoted back to Plat 5, but I've heard that Plat is the highest rank you can get in Duel Master right now. So yeah, this is what I'm working with the Sky Striker deck. I play a lot of traps. I know that a lot of people don't play too many traps, but this deck has gotten me pretty far. I actually skipped like most of gold. It figured that I was like way higher than I actually was. But then in Plat, it's like hit or miss. Like there's a few games in Plat that I could have won that I just choked. Like there's like been like 2 or 3 games where I just choked the cards and I didn't pull out the win. But if I had played it right, I would have won the game. But yeah, let's get into the deck profile. Let's try to go through this quickly. I don't really want to waste too much time. Basically the way I play Sky Strikers is I play for like HP. Like I try to keep my HP high and I try to like lower my opponent's HP. I'm not sure if there's other styles of playing it, but that's basically like the idea of this deck. Is it's kind of just like a beat down. Get in your face, get hand control, get board control, and then kind of just whittle you down little by little until you have nothing left. So what I've noticed I struggle against is like cards that kind of like lock you out of the game, and also people who can heal a lot. Like I played against this guy who had like 11,000 like LP, and I I couldn't beat him. He was just too low. But yeah, let's just get into it. Triple Max C card, super good. For the newer players, I'm just going to explain what it does. Basically, if you use this, it's a hand trap. You can draw for every time your opponent special summons that turn. So in this game right now, people just special summon all the friggin' time. So Max C is like super good to just like kind of shut people down. If they want to go through it, then you get a bunch of cards. So not bad. Ash Blossom, I only play it 2. I could bump this up to 3. I've been thinking about it, but I don't have the 3rd one yet. Basically Ash is also super good because people special summon from the deck. They add cards from their deck to their hand all the time. So Ash just, if you play Ash at the right time, it'll shut down an entire turn. So, and then I play 3 Ray and 3 Rose. 3 Rose isn't really standard. I know people like to play it at 2. I played it 3 because it's just really like Rose is a really good card. Like it's underrated how good it is. Like, yes, Ray is definitely 10 times better, but Rose is still pretty good. Then I play 3 Nibiru because people don't even realize Nibiru is a thing in this game for some reason. Like, if people will just special summon all day long, and then you hit them with the Nibiru, and then they're just like, well, shit, I can't play the game anymore. So I played at 3. You could probably bump it down to 2. I would say if you're like lower rank, then you might not even need this card at all. But because I'm in Plat, like people just special summon literally first turn. They summon like 15 monsters. So Nibiru is really good for countering that. The one Raigeki, because the card is just busted. This card has actually gotten me out of so many situations because it doesn't target and it destroys only monsters on their side of the field, which is dope. Monster Reborn, super good if you want to go for like a game-winning play. Super good for that. Reinforcement of the Army is just busted in this deck because you just add Ray and then you're literally just off with the combos, so pretty good. Terraforming, also very important. The field spell is really good, so Terraforming is just there to like help you get it quicker. Also, it's a spell, so that also works with Sky Strikers. Just being in the graveyard after you use it is pretty helpful. 2 Engage, self-explanatory, best card in the whole archetype, to be honest. Basically, if you don't know what it does, you can add a Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand, and then you draw one if you have more than 3 spells in your graveyard. So super good. It's like a +2 if it's like mid late game, and you pretty much just search for whatever the heck you want. I actually play 2 Afterburn because this card is freaking good, bro. Afterburners is hella good, dude. Like, it's not good enough to run it 3, but it's good enough to run it 2, if that makes sense. Like, there are a lot of times where I just use this twice in one round, and then, like, their whole board is destroyed. Like, you just destroy 4 cards off their board. And then I also play one of the jamming waves, just because it's just Afterburn, but like a little bit different. Basically, Afterburn lets you pop a monster, and then it lets you pop a spell, and then this one lets you pop a set card, and then it lets you pop a monster. So, depending on the situation, the jammer is better, but a lot of the times Afterburn is going to be the better card for that situation. But either way, like, all 3 of these cards are pretty good. It's just pops, like free pops pretty much. The field spell, we play at 3, as well as 3 of the, crap, what's this card's name again? Multi-roll? Yeah, so, in any Sky Striker deck, you're going to have these at 3. If you draw both of these in the same hand, then you're pretty much just set. It's a lot to explain what these cards do, but basically, if the field spell goes to the graveyard, if it's destroyed and goes to the graveyard, you can special summon a Sky Striker monster from your deck for free. But also, it has like a pot of duality effect, which is really cool. And then this one basically makes it so that your spells can't be reacted to, but also, you can pop a card on the field, like one of your cards on the field, which you usually pop the spell, which gives you a free monster. And also this card has a really broken effect that at the end of the turn you can set cards from your graveyard. You can set spells from your graveyard, which you've not used that turn, but up to the amount of Sky Striker spells that you've used this turn, or that turn. So these 2 cards are like pretty staple, pretty important for the deck to run and be smooth. So play them always at 3. Hornet Drones is just super good. It's at 1 because it's just super good. It's basically just a free token that could be a monster, but because it's a quick play spell, it ends up being like really clutch. Widow Anchor, this card's super broken too. Negate an effect on the field until the end of the turn. You can take control of it if you have a bunch of spells in your graveyard, so super good. I understand why it's at 2. It could even be at 1. Ego Booster is not that good, but I played it 1 because there are situations where it is helpful. And then I feel like Shark Cannon is also not that good, but there are situations where it's going to be helpful. So, yeah, that's it for the spells. I play a lot of traps because I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh players do not expect like this crap at all, because like nobody really plays traps anymore. But if you play like a few traps that are like really strong, like Solemns, Torrentials, like they're gonna get tripped up by it eventually. So I play triple Compulse, triple Mirror Force, just because like if you time the Mirror Force right, you can seriously wipe out entire boards with it. And then the Compulse is just, this card is just broken. I remember there was a time where this card was at 1. It's back up at 3, which is nice for me because I've always played it. I played this card when it was at 3 originally, and then they realized it was busted and then moved it down to 1. But now it's back at 3, so I just played at 3 because Compulse is like stupid broken. And then Magic Cylinder is kind of like a tech in this deck. There's a lot of monsters in this game that have super high attack, and if you just Magic Cylinder that and you've already gotten damage in with like Ray or like Hayate, like bro, like you literally win. Like you can win games off this card, period. And I have in Plat pretty much. So that's it for the main deck. There's a lot of like techie things that are in here, like the triple in the Buru, the triple Max C. Like these could definitely be bumped down to 2, or like bumped down to like, you could take the Nibiru's out to be honest, but I would leave at least 2 Max C in. But aside from that, there's other cards that you could play. Like you could play triple Lightning Storm. I just don't have it in right now because I wasn't drawing it. It's a good spell though, to be honest, but like it's like hit or miss sometimes, because sometimes like you want to top deck something good, like you want to top deck a Monster Reborn, you want to top deck a Mirror Force, and then you top deck like a Lightning Storm, and then you're just like fuck. But moving on to the extra deck, Kagari, she's at 1. I can understand why she's at 1. She's pretty fucking good. Basically, you just get a spell from your graveyard for free. Pretty broken. You play the rest of the Sky Striker monsters at 3. Well, most of them. You play Shizuku at 3. You play Hayate at 3, and you play Is it Kaina? You play Kaina at 3. Yeah, these cards, they kind of loop each other, which is funny. Basically, Shizuku is the best one. You get a +1 at the end of the turn, and the monsters that on your opponent's side of the field lose attack based on the amount of spells you have in your graveyard. So if it's late game, like, she's gonna drop their attack by like 500-600, and a lot of the times that's enough to just be over them. But also the +1 at the end of the turn is like super OP. For those of you who don't play Sky Strikers, you want to ash this. You want to ash this card. This is the best card to ash in the deck. Hayate is kind of broken because she just attacks directly, so it's 1500 to the face every turn you have her out during the battle phase, which is basically what I use her for. But also she's a Foolish Burial, and you want to use this effect to get spells in your graveyard quicker. And then Kaina is just like a defensive option, like she stops a monster from attacking that turn. And then she has another effect basically where she'll like heal you a little bit, but it's kind of useless, to be honest. The next Sky Striker monster that I play at 2 is Zeke. Zeke is actually super good. Like, don't underestimate this card at all. Like, this card will banish a monster, and then you can also make it 2500 in the same turn, and the attack stays, so you can make it 2500, 3500, 4500, and it just keeps going up depending on how much you want to like invest into it. So yeah, pretty good card. This card has gotten me out of a lot of situations. And then I play like a mini code engine, but to be honest, like, I don't really use them too much. I kind of stick to the Sky Striker monsters. But if I was good at using like the code engine, I would definitely use them more. And I also don't think I have all the cards. I'm pretty sure I don't have. Yeah, like I need Access Code Talker. That might be it. But yeah, that's it pretty much for the entire deck. Some things that I would change, because the way I play decks, like, I change them a lot. Like, I kind of just go with like the flow, and then depending on how my games are going, I kind of add and remove things. But I would say like this many traps might be a little bit overkill, but I like playing with traps. That's just the way I play. But if I had to change one thing, I would probably change these traps out for like maybe more hand traps or like Lightning Storm or something like that. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I'm probably gonna just post Sky Striker content, to be honest, because I don't know what the fuck to post. But if you like this video, make sure you like, make sure you sub, and I'll be back soon. Peace.